Hey, I'm Madison Outhier, and you're listening to Like a Farmer.
Hey, y'all, it's Pat. Welcome to another episode of Like a Farmer. Today, we're here at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. I think I have the most badass guest I've ever had on the show. Remember, every single Wednesday you can catch us on YouTube or wherever you listen to your audio podcast. Madison Outhier.
You nailed it.
Yeah. Hey, let's just start with how big of a badass you are, okay? I mean, I'm just going to throw it out there. We talked a little bit off camera before, but this is your 5th time that you're about to compete here in AT&T Stadium. Is that correct?
That's correct.
I mean, tell me, let's back up to the first time when you walk into this mecca. I'm assuming outside of Houston Rodeo, which you maybe have done before. But, like, tell me, first off, AT&T Stadium, walking in here the first time, like, how awesome is that?
Oh, it's unreal. So the first time I competed here, I was actually 16 years old. So I definitely had never competed in any major stadium, let alone one like this. And it was for the first year that the American Rodeo added breakaway roping, which is the event I do, into the rodeo at the American. And I ended up winning the American that year. And it was awesome. But just being in the stadium itself is unreal. I mean, the fans are so awesome. It gets so loud in here. Yeah, it's like no other place we get to compete in, so it's awesome every time we get to come.
Little subtle flex there for people listening, like winning the American at what age?
16.
That's the youngest ever, I'm assuming, right?
Yes, sir.
How does that even, please don't say, sir. Matter of fact, you saying that, how old do you think I am, just right off the bat?
32. Did I
nail
it?
Up? You
I did.
nailed
I
it.
swear I didn't.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And I really want to dig in on the American and winning that, but since you just said it, like, how does that feel at 16 years old? Like, you're not even supposed to be worried about winning the American. It's just like, hey, what test am I taking in school tomorrow? What am I going to wear to prom or whatever? And you're talking about winning the American?
Yeah, it was pretty unreal. I definitely wasn't expecting it. It was kind of in the uprising of breakaway roping. It was, like I said, the first time it was added to the American Rodeo, and it was just getting added to a bunch of bigger rodeos. And so it was awesome to be at the forefront of the sport and it exploding kind of really soon after that. We got added into a lot of other big rodeos, and I got, the chance to just kind of ride the wave up along with the sport rising up. Breakaway's been around for a long time, but it's just now getting added to these big rodeos still. So it's pretty cool to be a part of it all. So at 16, I was just taking it all in. I played polo pretty competitively through high school as well. My mom was a professional polo player. My dad was a professional rodeo cowboy, so I kind of had the best of both worlds, and I loved doing both at that age. But at that time, it kind of solidified that I was going to do this kind of for a living. So
educate everybody when you think about breakaway, because you just said it. I mean, kind of being a new event in the rodeo space. Like, how do you even go about learning how to do it? I'm sure you did it your whole life.
Yeah.
And why is it getting more popular in the sport of rodeo?
Yep. So it's a women's only event, and it's where the girls come out of a box on their horse, have a rope. We rope the calf around the neck, and there's a string tied to our saddle horn that the rope is attached to, and it breaks away, and you have a flag tied to the end of your string so that you can see it. Time stops. 1-2 second runs are the goal time, so it's really quick. And I just think that with the evolution of rodeo growing in general, getting in the public eye more, I think that it really excelled well because it's a super fun event for the fans to get involved with. It's another women's event getting added to rodeo. Before that, it was only barrel racing that were in the big rodeos. And so growing up, I loved watching rodeo, and I followed my dad around at the biggest rodeos in the world, watching him. And the reality for me was I was just had to be a barrel racer if I wanted to rodeo professionally. So now that the women's events have grown to where you can break away too for a living, it's pretty cool to have that. And I just think that the accumulation of it doing so well at events like the American is just it's grown in popularity, and rodeos are seeing that, and now we get to travel the world doing it.
No kidding. You trust me, we talked a little bit. You've been securing some bags doing this breakaway, so you are doing more than just making a living. You mentioned one thing about how the public eye is now seeing rodeo. We talked a little bit about PBR, how popular that's getting.
Yes.
The whole lifestyle of this, we'll call it Western lifestyle, or call it rural America lifestyle, whatever you want to call it. But why do you think it's getting so popular? Because it's unbelievable. You're selling out AT&T Stadium.
Yes.
I think country music has been a cool, like, adjacent figure to tie into this rodeo stuff, which is awesome, and I think it's brought more fans. But why is it getting so popular?
I think it's just, what America wants to get back to. We have the national anthem. We have a prayer at each and every rodeo across the country. It's filled with amazing people that are genuine, hardworking people, and I think that, that conveys throughout every performance, no matter where you're at, where you're watching a rodeo. I mean, we'll be in Washington State, or we can be in AT&T Stadium, and the patriotism and just the camaraderie of the people that are involved in rodeo is so strong and so apparent to not only the fans, but just everybody who's watching on TV now. It's just a great thing to be a part of. It's a great lifestyle. Everybody in the sport is really rooting for you. I know tonight we get to do kind of like a team thing, but usually we're competing individually, and it's crazy to see how much camaraderie there is between us athletes, because we really are rooting for each other all the time, and I feel like you don't see that in most other sports. And so I really do think that's what differentiates rodeo, and really, a lot of people are getting involved in it because of that.
Who's on your team tonight?
Cheyenne McCartney is the breakaway roping teammate that I have, and then of course we get to watch all the other guys in the other events and girls. So yeah, it's gonna be really fun. Usually, we aren't really into the other events. You're kind of like, you go to a rodeo, and I'm kind of just focused on my event, doing my thing, then going to the next one. But tonight's gonna be really cool because we're cheering on our bareback riders, saddle bronc riders, barrel racers. So it's really cool.
That is so cool. I play a game on this show. Okay, we're going to play multiple games. Actually, we get some prizes, all of that. First game, Cut to the Chase, presented by Case Knives.
Okay. This
is actually your knife.
Oh, awesome.
I want you to take a look at this. This is one of the custom-made case.
That is awesome. Yeah, cool, oh, my gosh. Yeah. That's yours. So cool. Thank you so much.
A lot of things that we talk about on the show, and which I love, is the adversity piece. Whether you're an athlete, a musician, anybody, everybody faces adversity. This Salt Lake City incident that you had, yes. That I don't know what was going through your mind. Are you done? Are you going to come back? But you've come back in a big way. Can you just elaborate on that a little bit?
Yes. So, Salt Lake City this past July 2024, I had a horse follow me just walking up to the arena, ended up breaking 7 ribs. My collarbone collapsed and punctured my lung and lacerated my liver. And so I was very lucky that it happened in Salt Lake City. It was super close to a lot of great hospitals. I got right into the hospital. Had amazing doctors. I ended up having collarbone surgery, and so I was in the hospital for a week there in Salt Lake, and then got to come home and, had to sit the rest of last year's season out, so that was pretty hard for me. But I mean, initially in the moment, I was just thinking, dang, I guess I'm not going to get to rope today. I was like, I was just really focused on getting back as quick as I could, and I had a great support system behind me. It was awesome to see the outpour that everybody in the Western industry showed me. It was really amazing to see just people come to my aid, texting, calling, whatever it may be. The hospital said I had a record amount of flowers being delivered to the room. It was crazy. It was awesome. And so...
how many, what is a record? How many?
There was 40-something bouquets sent to the room. Yeah, okay. They just kept bringing them. It was so great. But yeah, so it made that process easier. It was obviously hard when I got home. I'm used to just going and blowing every day of my life, and just having to sit at home and not doing much was pretty hard mentally on me. But I knew that as soon as I was cleared, I had a really good orthopedic surgeon that we saw in Houston. My mom had a lot of broken bones with her polo career, and so we've gotten to be with him quite a bit. And he, said right at the end of 8 weeks, once the bones were stuck enough together, that I was able to start doing stuff. And so as soon as I could, I was roping again, and I was doing physical therapy and working out. And so I was roping and stuff again at close to 9 weeks, and so it sounds like a quick turnaround, but it felt a lot longer than it was. And I did obviously battle a lot of strength coming back from that. Obviously I wasn't as strong as I had been until at least a couple months after that.
It's probably mental and physical when you think about that type of stuff.
Yeah, it was.
You have scenarios like that happen, and that just makes people realize, like, y'all are athletes, and the recovery that takes place is a serious recovery. But elaborate a little bit on, like, getting prepared for any type of event, because you're just now getting back into the events, I'm understanding. Is that correct? Because this happened last year. So what's like a pre-game routine when it comes to that physical side of it?
Yeah, well, especially in my event where it's so quick, so many things can happen that are out of your control. You just have to have a really strong mental game. You have to have complete confidence in yourself, and our horses are 90% of what we do too. I mean, you have to be super confident in your horse and your animal athlete that you have underneath you, and I've been very fortunate. I've had the same amazing horse that's been my number one guy since I won the American at AT&T my 16-year-old year, and so he's the same horse I'm riding tonight, and he's been just a freak of nature, amazing athlete, and so he gives me a lot of confidence, and I feel like that's half of the battle. If you go in there and you have confidence in yourself and your abilities and your horse, you know, that's the main goal, because I mean, a lot of stuff can happen in rodeo, especially when you have two animals that one you can control, usually the one that you're on, but the one that you're chasing after or whatnot, you cannot control them at all. So really, at the end of the day, it's crazy how much goes into making a perfect run, and it doesn't happen often. So especially when you're going for first every time, and you know, everything has to line up perfectly in the breakaway roping to be fast. So, you know, you just have to keep confidence, even if it's not going good. You just have to brush it off and be ready to win the next chance you get.
I love that. And you've been doing a lot of winning. Back up a little bit, growing up, I mean, you grew up in small town America, Texas. What's the town?
Utopia, Texas.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we need to, I feel like you could just draw a list of these Texas, like, smaller town names. And I saw something online the other day of, I think it was Ross Chastain, good friend. He's a NASCAR driver, and he had to name some of these, like, small town American names. Like, some of these names, especially the state of Texas makes up, is just mind blowing. But when did you start doing the rodeo stuff? I mean, I know your dad was in the game. Your mom obviously was an athlete. I'm sure you got on a horse at the age of 3. But.
Yeah, I actually got on a horse. They put me on one before I could even walk, and led me around in it. Went to the Utopia Horse Club and led me around in the events. And so I loved it from a young age. I rode horses every day from the time I could walk, and I'm fortunate my family owns a breeding program in Utopia, Texas, where we breed our own quarter horses, and so we've always been surrounded with great horses that I've gotten to be on. And then I started youth rodeoing and really getting competitive more so when I got into like the 5th, 6th grade, and just kind of kept doing it on from there.
I think it's really cool as well, especially in this sport, of women being in it. I mean, you want to talk about just a lineup of badasses. We could name a ton of them, but tell me a little bit about, because I feel like you're a pretty big advocate for that too. Like, how do you feel about where you are today, and then the younger girls getting into this type of sport? Oh,
it's awesome. I mean, I'm still pretty young at 22, and I feel like I'm kind of more of a veteran nowadays. The young girls coming up are awesome, and they're badasses in themselves, and they make, you know, the game just get harder and harder every time and every year. And, you know, the same as we did to the older generation too. And, you know, the older generation, they didn't have these huge rodeos to chase after, so they really were doing it out of the love of the sport. And, you know, that's what I was doing too at 16. I had no idea that, you know, when I was roping every day when I was 14, 15, that I'd get a chance to be where I am now. I was just doing it out of sheer love. And I think that, you know, now that we're on big TV broadcasts and things like that, I mean, it's giving girls across the whole nation something to shoot at now, and it's really feasible for a woman to make a living with a rope in her hand. And that was not possible, at least if you weren't one of the top 3 girls that just, you know, killed it everywhere at the smaller rodeos. It wasn't possible 5-6 years ago, which is crazy to say that it's come so far in that short amount of time. But I think it's because the younger generation just keeps getting better and keeps having these, you know, bigger goals put in front of them. I mean, Kid Rock Rodeo is now a goal of mine every year, and that wasn't possible 2 years ago. And so it's just awesome to see the sport grow so much, and to see that the girls have, you know, these things in front of them that they're going to shoot for. So yeah, they're going to be busting their butt hard, and it's going to be, the sport's just going to continue to get tougher and tougher every year, and it's just going to make it flourish even better.
and to make a living doing it now. I should have mentioned this in the beginning. Miss Madison just graduated from Texas A&M.
Yes.
Congrats on that.
Thank you.
And now this is your full-time gig. And your goal is, okay, I studied in college. It was awesome, but I'm going to rodeo. I can make a living out of this.
Yeah.
Fifth time in AT&T Stadium. You just told me before the cameras went on that you've won like over $100,000 in this arena. How did that feel when that happened?
Yeah, it was awesome. So the first year at the American, I won $110,000 there, and then I got to come here for the first Women's Rodeo World Championship back in 2020, and I won $60,000 there. And so it's awesome that these big events are giving us the chance at that amount of money, because when you're doing this for a living, it's awesome to have a chance at that much money. But that's what's happening, a lot more than, it used to be. There's these big events like this that give us a chance to make a really good living at this, and it really helps us out throughout the year. So
you were 16 when you won. What was it, over 100,000?
Yes.
Like, can they even legally pay you that?
Yeah.
And where does it go? Like an account? Or?
Yeah, it went into some stocks. So that was good.
That's awesome. Hey, I play another game on the show, okay?
Okay.
This game's called Give 'em the Boot, presented by TECOVAS. Now, I truly apologize, but you do have a brand new pair of TECOVAS coming to you.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I'm gonna get an address to send them to you,
Awesome.
but usually I have them here. It's awesome. But
Oh, man.
this is the game, okay?
Okay.
4 questions. You can give one of them the boot, Madison, but if you give one of them the boot, you have to answer the rest of them.
Okay.
Now, you don't have to give any of them the boot.
Okay.
I've only had like 2 or 3 people actually give the boot. I think one of them was Gavin Adcock, and one other gave him the boot. Gavin was just a scaredy cat. Uncle Cracker, yes, you're right. So those are the 2 that actually had to give the boot, but you
Okay.
don't have to.
Okay.
Give them the boot, presented by TECOVAS. Who's your favorite rodeo competitor of all time? In any event.
I would say Sherry Servey, and she's a barrel racer, not a breakaway roper, and that's because she just was the most winningest cowgirl in the world when I was growing up watching rodeo, and that's who I strive to be like. It wasn't necessarily that I wanted to be a breakaway roper, I just wanted to be a winner like her. So
How much money did she make all the time?
millions. Yeah.
That's on. I love that. I mean,
Yeah.
and we've talked about it a little bit, like the money that is coming into this sport
Yep.
to give the opportunity to pay these people is awesome.
It is.
Next question. Oh, yeah, this is great. What did you buy with your first rodeo check?
Oh, I would probably say my first big purchase myself that I remember was a truck. F350 dually silver truck.
Still got it?
I've traded it out. I feel like we put about like 50,000 to 100,000 miles on them a year or 2. So I've had to trade it out a couple times since then. But that was my big one at 18 whenever I'd, save my money up enough for it.
And I think it's important for people to know, too, like this is every weekend and sometimes during the week. Like you just
for
said,
sure.
you're putting 100,000 miles a year on
Yeah.
this. I mean, what does that schedule look like on an annual basis?
Yeah, well, throughout the winter, spring, fall, we kind of go during the weekends mainly. You're able to home base out of home, so I'm able to stay home, go to school, whatever it is. But during the summer, in a couple weeks, starting at the beginning of June, we're gone 3 months straight, all the way till the season ends, September 29th. We come home, and but we are on the road. I won't come home for 3 months, and we'll be out there just going from rodeo to rodeo across the country. So it's pretty cool.
Well, you need to do like a little content series just on that.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your go-to meal after a rodeo?
I love a good steak, Caesar salad, baked potato. It's pretty American, but yeah, that's me.
How are you cooking the steak?
Medium rare.
Okay.
Yep.
I didn't know if you're like a well done or something.
No.
Okay. Favorite band or person to listen to before a competition?
I would have to say, might be a little cliche right here, but Kid Rock is probably up there. Yeah.
And then I understand that. I mean, you put any of his bangers on, and you might want to run through a wall.
For
It
sure.
gets you pumped up.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Who are you listening to right now? Like, what's on your playlist?
I love Parker McCollum. I've really been
Cliche right
liking
there.
again, cliche, but they've invited all my favorite people here. It's not my fault. I really have been liking Hudson Westbrook and his new stuff.
I do too.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Like
and
that sober song. I mean, I think he's stuck.
yeah, I do love a lot of rap, and so I like Lil Wayne, I like J. Cole, kind of the older stuff there, 50 Cent, yeah, it's my stuff.
It's a great lineup.
Yep.
I feel like you're very goal-oriented. Like, what are 3 or 4 goals that you kind of have in mind that you want to accomplish before you hang it up?
Definitely make the NFR. They take the top 15 in the world every year to the NFR.
You've got to have been close a couple of times, right?
I ended up 17th in the world the year before last. Last year I was
15.
They take 15.
How do you feel when that happens?
I had 70,001 and 15th was 71,001, so it's pretty hard. The year before that, I was 18th, and I won Rookie of the Year that year. I had a great year, but I started college that year, had to come home early, and it just didn't work out. And I left for the summer that year, second in the world, so that was hard because it just was a hard summer for me, but it taught me a lot mentally, just to overcome a lot of stuff. And then last year, had the incident, had to go home early, so didn't get close to making it. But this year, that's my goal.
That's going to happen.
Yeah, I would love to win a world title. And then, I would love to, I'm pretty close to crossing the $1 million earnings, so it's pretty cool. And it's 90% on that one horse that I have, so it's pretty cool.
That is awesome. Yeah. Isn't that crazy to think, you're about to hit the $1 million mark, 22 years old. 90% of it's on one horse. Are you treating that horse anything well with this $1 million that it's won you?
Oh yeah, he's the pride and joy of our place. We raised and trained him ourselves. My dad and I are pretty much the only people that have ever trained him at all, and so it's pretty cool he's really special in our household.
When you cross over that $1 million mark, can you call me and we just do some sort of
for sure.
celebration?
Yeah, for sure.
You're definitely buying, and I don't care where we go, but I'm getting a steak too at that point.
Yeah.
You're going to see it a lot tonight, and I'm sure you see it on a lot of rodeos, but these celebrities and these other athletes from other sports coming to watch y'all, in my opinion, it's one of the coolest things.
Oh, it's so cool.
I told you, and even Neil McDonough came on the show. He did a movie about it. I was talking to Sean Gleason about it. Like, this sport, no matter what event it is, it's through the roof right now. Like, what are some surprising celebrities that you've seen come to watch y'all?
Like, of course, the great country music artist George Strait. I've kind of drawn a blank, but I feel like at the NFR we have a lot of cool people come. Trump's come to some stuff. I know that. Yeah, some cool
You'll
actors.
See him tonight.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is, though? This is, everybody wants to be involved. We started a media company about it, for God's sake. Like, hey, this is the lifestyle that people want to get into. Yellowstone happened, COVID happened. Everybody wanted to wear a cowboy hat, wear cowboy boots, and drive a pickup truck, which is awesome. I'm here for it. Yeah. Hell, Beyonce's like in country music, if you want to call country music. Me and you could go down a rabbit hole on that. But I still think at least she's highlighting that lifestyle.
For sure.
Like, why do you think that is?
I think it's a great thing. I think that, people can tear apart it and be like, oh, they're not real country people, but they're supporting these country and Western brands. I know that Beyonce and Shabuzi used a company called Rocket Busters boots for their, halftime show the other day. They're supporting these Western companies, and, pretty much every American hat, Resist All hat, they're all going to these people. They're supporting Western companies no matter what, because that's where you got to go to get the stuff. And so it's creating a mass following for all these things. It's just putting more money into, the events like this. I think it's awesome. And I think that, again, it goes back to just patriotism, just the good American way of life, hardworking people, honest people. I think that's what people crave nowadays, is just to find something that they can feel is honest and is good and is meaningful. And I think that that's the Western industry, and that's how it's always been. And I think that, now that we're in the public eye more with all of these different media channels like y'all, and Cowboy Channel was a huge part in getting us, on national television, getting the rodeos on national television, and just the mass following that it's gained through all of different things that it's come from, that has just done wonders for the sport, and has showed people that, that is what we stand for, and people want to be a part of that.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love watching the Buffalo Bills drinking Outlaw Light on a Sunday, but now I want to have an Outlaw Light and watch Madison on national TV. So that is cool. These media outlets, showing that attention.
Yeah.
You've done the Houston Rodeo, yeah?
Yes.
I mean, how was that?
It's awesome.
Would you say,
there.
Tell me what's kind of the mecca on that? Like, hey, that's where I want to compete. Would that have been it?
Oh, for sure. I grew up watching my dad compete there, and my mom played her professional polo career was in Houston, and so we lived half the year in Houston and half the year in Utopia my whole life, and so that was the coolest rodeo for me for the first time to be a part of, because it was like, wow, like we made it here. I was the first year the Breakaway got added, I was there and have been there every year since. They gave me the invite this year, even though I didn't qualify because of my injury last year, and so it's a really special rodeo to me.
You keep mentioning your dad competing. What was he doing event-wise?
Saddle bronc riding.
Just a complete badass.
Yeah, he made the NFR 4 times. He was a 2-time Linderman Award winner, which is where you work both ends of the arena. So he did calf roping and team roping too, and he did bareback and bull riding. And so he was the epitome of cowboy and Western way of life. And we go out on the ranch and wrangle bucking horses all the time with him, cattle. He raises a bunch of bucking horses now, and we get to watch them. There's actually one out tonight in the final round in the saddle bronc riding that we raised in Utopia. We get to watch him go to the NFR, and so he's been my only coach since I was young. He's definitely the reason to most of my success for sure. On
the ranch now, so you are still doing a lot of that.
Yes.
I mean, that's keeping the whole family just as busy. How long have y'all been doing that? So my grandparents bought the ranch. My mom's family, the Waters, bought the ranch in Utopia in 1972 and started Ellie Waters Quarter Horses. We bought Colonel Freckles, which was an amazing cutting horse, and he was in the Hall of Fame, and that's where we, started our breeding program was there. And so when my parents got married, they moved out there. My dad bought some bucking horses and started his own bucking horse breeding program. And so we would kind of go all over. I'd go with my mom kind of all over the world with polo when I was younger, and we'd always home base out of Utopia, but we'd go to Houston, like I said, for polo, and he would go around to rodeos. I'd go around with him to rodeos. I'd go around with her to polo. And so, our life was always just gone most of the time. But Utopia's beautiful place, mountains, rivers, crystal clear spring-fed rivers, and so it's awesome to go back home there. You're just go. Yeah. If you're not doing any of this rodeo stuff, what are you doing for fun these days? Well, I love doing, I went to school for entrepreneurship. I love doing entrepreneur stuff. I have my own jewelry company, and tell us about it. Come on, Madison Lyn Jewelry. Okay. I don't do as well with it as I should, or I guess I could make it bigger, but it's just more fun. What do you sell on it? What's the plan? Mainly what are the gold, goals? Silver, necklaces, dainty stuff. I do some men's stuff too. How can we find it? You can go to Instagram, Facebook, Madison Lyn Jewelry. Go online, Madison Lyn Jewelry. What men's stuff do you do? Mainly just like chains. So like I have some silver, some gold chains, some black chains. Yeah. How'd you get into that? I just have always loved like jewelry, fashion, and I get to travel around, like I said, with my mom, and my aunt's a fashion designer and chef, and she has her own restaurant in Utopia, Texas called The Laurel Tree. So if anybody's ever in that area, it's an amazing restaurant. And so I just kind of got my love for fashion and jewelry from her, and it's always been something fun for me to do. This right here, is that it? That's it. Hold on one second. What else, entrepreneur-wise, like what else do you have? What are some... Those are the type of goals that I want to hear. Yeah. That's awesome. I love helping the younger generation. I love coaching and, doing lessons and all the things like that with the younger generation. I've got to work with some really cool kids. I've got to do some really cool clinics. Hopefully in the future I'm getting to go abroad just to start doing some clinics. That's going to be really cool. It's awesome to see that rodeo's not just in America. I know I keep saying it's so patriotic, but it is so cool to see. Costa Rica, France, Brazil. Yeah. It's huge in Brazil.
just places you never knew that rodeo would be at are there. And so that's another goal of mine once I got out of school and have more time, is to go out and do, stuff. I love traveling abroad. So, I would love to go do that stuff more.
What's coming down the pipeline next when it comes to rodeo stuff? We'll
be gone the whole summer. Some of the biggest rodeos of the year all summer. I mean, it's so awesome to go to all those rodeos across the country. You would think, we go out to California, Nevada, Washington State, Idaho, just all over, and these stands are completely packed every single night,
It's
no matter where we go. It can be a small, tiny town, it can be Salt Lake City, and it's amazing productions no matter where you go, amazing fans no matter where you go. It's so fun.
There's a lot of new ones popping up too. Educate me a little bit on that. What was the Desert Rodeo was...
The Desert Rodeo, you have the Hondo Rodeo, the San Diego Rodeo. I got to be a part of the first San Diego Rodeo last year in Petco Park.
And is that just one group starting these? Because I feel like it's just random people wherever you go that want to do a rodeo. I guess it has to be sanctioned or to qualify for points.
They have to be sanctioned at some point with just a rodeo production company. And so I know I was a part of the San Diego Rodeo, so they partnered with C5 Rodeo Company, which is in charge of getting the bucking horses. There's a lot of logistics that go into making a rodeo. You could have a group of people that are like, I want to put on a rodeo, but, we're on the back side of it and the competitor side of it, where I get to see, the bucking horses, the cattle that get raised for it. You get to see all the parts of it. And, there's people out there that are like, rodeo's so inhumane and they're terrible to the animals. We're part of both sides of this. I know that I love my animal athlete more than myself most of the time, because I couldn't do what I do without him. And you've heard me talk about them. We love our animal athletes, and then even the stock that we compete on, we wouldn't be able to win without them either. And so the bucking horses, you could go get a random horse down the road and try and get it to buck in this rodeo, and it wouldn't do it. You have to have a true bred bucking horse that loves to do this, and it'll do it every single time. You don't even have to put a guy on it, and it'll buck every single time. These animals are bred to do it. They love to do it. Everybody involved with the sport of rodeo loves these athletes and know that they're the reason behind all of our success. The guys that put on the rodeo, they love these horses because that's their living. That's their passion. It's why we do it, is mainly for the animals. And so it has a lot behind it to put on a rodeo, and a lot of people don't know that. And so yes, these random people coming up, they are a little random, and I don't think they're connected a lot. I think that they're just wanting to put on rodeos, but they're getting involved with these great companies, and they're putting them on, and they're awesome. And these rodeos, San Diego is so cool. We were literally right across from the ocean in Petco Park, which is the MLB stadium there. It's awesome.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of country in all of us.
Yeah.
We're talking about some of these events go to Madison Square Garden, the Big Apple, Petco, Nashville. We're here in AT&T Stadium. I see the passion in your eyes, which is so cool to see. Remind me your horse's name again?
Rooster.
Yep. Shout out Rooster. That $1 million mark. I'm rooting for you. I can't wait. We got to make sure we have a little tracker so I know when to call her. Rooting for Rooster? Yeah, rooting for Rooster. There you go. This has been awesome. I could sit here and talk to you for hours. You're very informative and educational in this sport, which that's my biggest love for that aspect, because you're an advocate for not only the sport but for women in this sport and just the growth of this sport we're seeing tonight. So I'm pumped for you. I really am.
Thank you.
The adversity piece coming back from that accident in Salt Lake City, that's incredible. It really is. Thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, of course. I'm stoked to get to talk to you, so thank you.
And as always, I appreciate y'all tuning in every single Wednesday. Catch us on YouTube or wherever you listen to your audio podcast. Remember, like, comment, subscribe, share, do whatever you got to do to be like a farmer.